to Becky and Mel's News Today. Today we'll be discussing President Franklin D. Roosevelt and everything that he has done to improve our society.
That's right, and this won't be a biased show. We'll definitely discuss what was wrong.
To start, Franklin Roosevelt was known for the New Deal more than anything else. For the record, he didn't also create the Social Security that each and every U.S. citizen has.
Without the New Deal or Social Security, he wouldn't really be so important. Let's not forget to mention that he did think it was a good idea to raise taxes while most people were in poverty. Even if he did get the country out of this depression, the poor were still not living in the best conditions.
President Roosevelt cared tons for this country and the alliances and such that would follow after by creating the Good Neighborhood policy, withdrawing Americans from land countries and respecting sovereignty.
He may have been good to the other countries, but in America he was raising prices and getting rid of excess food, even though people were poor and starving.
But what if Franklin D. Roosevelt was never elected as president and no one ran against Herbert Hoover? Herbert Hoover did so many things that led the economy being so messed up that the only way he would be reelected would have been if no one had run against him.
He said that he had no fears for the future of our country, but with his conservative political philosophies, Hoover was constrained to do anything big.
Because of this, Herbert Hoover thought that the federal intervention would be a threat to capitalism and individualism. Plus, he even vetoed some bills that would have helped during this difficult time in the economic status of the United States.
As we can see, Herbert Hoover would not be fit for the job of our president by the way he has continued the Great Depression. It would possibly hurt our economy even more.
For example, in this scene, we have an alternate re-election where it shows Herbert Hoover as president for another term.
As we can see, things still are not well. People are living on the street and things haven't gotten any better.
Obviously, Hoover hasn't had any productive things happening and the depression has only continued and possibly even worsened.
But this is only our prediction. Things could have been different. Things could have either gotten much better or much worse.
Yeah, with some miracle, he maybe could have made the things better.
Aside from Herbert Hoover, there were other good candidates like Al Smith who could help as much as Roosevelt did or even more.
Al Smith was one of the people that ran against Franklin D. Roosevelt for the Democratic nomination.
He may not have won the nomination, but he was a great candidate.
If he fought for adequate housing and child welfare as governor of New York, imagine what he could do for the whole country.
He was very influencing with his leadership skills of forcing Republican legislators to accept his recommendations.
Smith, being a happy warrior, would make the most out of his presidency with new laws of factories, proper care of the mentally ill, and state parks.
He was a politician that was born and bred in New York's Tammany Hall system, something that could definitely help the United States' own government system.
As we can see in this scene, this is definitely a step up from the Herbert Hoover scene.
Smith's new legislative actions have already begun helping the United States with the voting of adequate housing and care for the mentally ill.
We aren't saying that he would be better than Franklin D. Roosevelt or even better than Herbert Hoover, but based off what he said and what he wanted, this is what we imagined.
As we said at the beginning, President Roosevelt has definitely helped the U.S., but we wanted to think about what would happen if the elections went in a different direction.
We do believe that there would have been both a good and bad outcomes with the different presidential elections.
Either way, we will truly never know. Anyways, that's all for today from Becky and Mel News. Bye!